Hey guys, and welcome back to this, yes, the final, well hopefully not, in the series My Tiny Studio, as I get to take you with me behind the scenes and show you the detailed making of these various compositions which constitute this particular series. So today it's a little bit of a nostalgic day for me in the sense of I'm going to go step back into the past, to the very day that this concept was first conceived. I'm referring more to taking a small cardboard box, bigger than this one of course, taking a concept, building a scene within the cardboard box, photographing it, and then post-processing that photograph in Photoshop and a couple of other applications to create that final digital artwork. I hope that you've had an opportunity to view at least a few of the compositions within the series thus far, and in so doing found them both informative and inspiring. On the other hand, I also trust that you've had an opportunity to hit the subscribe button and join me on this journey. I look forward to keeping you entertained in future. So today we're going to be taking a look at the project called The Awakening. In actual fact, there are 5 particular compositions which constitute this project. So what I suggest we do, why don't you grab a glass of your favorite beverage? Oh, this has been standing for quite a while. I'm out of here.
As the ongoing debate surrounding the issue of digital art actually being a true art form or not, I wanted to start thinking outside the box and create something very different to that now typical female portrait adorned with a bowl of carefully crafted fruit on her head. Now don't get me wrong, I have great admiration for those fellow artists who painstakingly create those amazing pieces, but I just felt that eventually these compositions all started suddenly looking the same to me. In consultation with my muse, I ironically landed up rather literally thinking inside the box, and so the concept of My Tiny Studio was born. As previously mentioned, inspiration was also drawn from the American fine art photographer Brooke Shaden, whose work and creativity I hugely admire. Her series Fourth Wall is of particular relevance in this regard, and I urge you to take a look at that specific project too. The subject matter for this first project was structured around the game of chess and was largely inspired by the musical chess. I began by drafting a shopping list of the required props to pull off this challenging task. After a brief outing to the local hardware store, I started off by painting small boxes, 60mm in size, in black and white to form a 3-dimensional looking chessboard, which played a significant role in creating some of the illusions of this project. I then gave new life to a collection of old wooden chess pieces by spraying them in black and white. Having created and photographed the first set, I decided to rearrange and started creating variations based on the initial theme. In so doing, I landed up with 5 different but related compositions. At that stage, I had no intention of taking the little box concept any further, but that soon changed as I started receiving some very positive feedback on the initial project. And so the My Tiny Studio concept was born, which now begs the next question: where to from here? To be honest, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm done with it, maybe not. My lighting equipment for this project was very basic. Needless to say that since this project was created some 18 months ago, my lighting setup has dramatically been upgraded since then. In setting up the cotton suspended chess pieces, it became rather frustrating because every time that I had to make an adjustment, the pieces started swinging around at the slightest touch, and I would have to wait another 20 minutes for them to become absolutely stationary before I could adjust the camera settings and snap the next image. Eventually I decided what the heck, and I gave the stage a good bump, which resulted in a natural blur on the suspended chess pieces, which turned out just great in the final piece, namely King of the Castle. At one stage I had captured the small white polystyrene balls in their natural form and used black spray paint to colour the larger black sphere, which left it with an interesting pit hole surface from the alcohol based spray paint. The black hand in the composition entitled Checkmate was by courtesy of my daughter Marcel, who volunteered her handiwork. She did take the opportunity to remind me that this was the first time that she had been invited to model in one of my compositions. What an amazing job she did, don't you think? Insert chuckle here. And then I remember seeing the Awake video, in which I recall my mentor Sebastian Michaels demonstrating the workings of the sphere functionality in Photoshop. Since this is a rather interesting technique, I would like to take this opportunity to briefly demonstrate how I created those black and white checkerboard spheres. So having captured the image that I now want to start post-processing, I wanted to apply a checkerboard type finish to those polystyrene balls. Let's have a look how I achieved that. You go into 3D menu, select New Mesh from Layer, go down to Mesh Preset and scroll down until you get Sphere. Once you're there, you basically will be presented with a large spherical object on the screen, and what we now need to do is double click on that, go into my sphere materials and scroll down until I get to the checkerboard material that I want to use. Apply that. You can just close this for a second. Back into my layers menu, right click, convert to a smart object, and once we've done that we can hit Command T on the Mac. Keeping my shift button depressed, I can reduce the size of this spherical object, and then I can move it up into the area where I want to actually place it. What I might want to do first is just select it, and then on the layer I can just reduce its opacity. Let's zoom in to get a bit of a clearer view. Once again, Command T, and then reduce it until I get to the exact size that I want to overlay across that polystyrene board. I may also want to just grab the corner here and rotate the image, and once I'm happy with its positioning and rotation, I can then go back and just increase the opacity until I'm happy with its brightness. So let's just go back to the full screen, and there you go, as simple as that.
There was also another interesting technique that I applied in Photoshop to warp some of the faces in selected compositions. Let's take a brief look at how I accomplished that too.
So distorting an image in Photoshop is actually quite a simple process as long as you know where to find the right command to do so. I refer more specifically to, you'll see the effect of the chessboard, which I've actually distorted as I toggle this layer on and off. So how do we achieve this? Switch that off and go to the layer where we want to effect this change. I go down and select the filter command, choose liquify. You'll be now presented with a new screen, and your cursor modulation is set to a reasonable size. If I just zoom in a little here and across, and you'll see as I hold my left mouse button down and I pull in that direction, I'm actually able to distort. If I reduce the cursor size, it'll be a little bit more narrow, but as you push and pull, make sure that you're on the right side of where you want to effect this change, and that's as simple as that.
I was recently asked if I printed and framed out all my artworks and then scouted around for an appropriate location to photograph them in their various furnished environments. Well, truth be told, no, I don't do that at all. It would just simply be unaffordable. I stumbled across an amazing collection of flexible Photoshop templates created by Ariana Falerni. As can be seen in these examples, I have selected an appropriate template to match my artwork and then generated this imagery, which adds huge value in my marketing process. Each template allows me to change the wall colors, remove, replace objects like light fittings, etc. Selection of different frame sizes and material types makes it an absolute breeze to chop and change until I have the perfect setting to promote my creativity. You can find out more details regarding this amazing product offering in my show notes below.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our series, My Tiny Studio. It's been a fascinating 6-week period for me, as I've had to get to grips with new video editing software, get to understand how that all hangs together to enable me to put this series together for you. Speaking of which video is your favorite? Gladys, I didn't ask you, I'm talking to my YouTube audience. So, go to the comments below, let me know. I've actually enjoyed making them all, but I do have one favorite. And where to from here? We'll have to see.
USA-based art enthusiasts are invited to connect with me on Art Boya, where you are able to order exquisite curated prints of my photo art to showcase on your walls. Material choices include watercolor, canvas, acrylic and brush metal. Delivery is currently only available in the USA, but will also be distributed to other geographic regions soon. Likewise, South African-based art collectors are invited to connect with me on Digital Gallery, where you will be able to make a sound investment in one or more of the 100+ artworks currently on display in this gallery. Choose your preferred framing option, size, and confirm your online payment, and you will receive your ready-to-hang investment within 7 days, delivered right to your front door. And hey guys, do you want to learn how to create stunning digital art just like this? Why not take the plunge and register for the Sebastian Michaels Photoshop Artistry online course, just like I did some 5 years ago. You'll be able to find more detailed information in this regard in the show notes below. Now, if you found this video interesting, then you know what to do. Zap that subscribe button and ring that bell to make sure that you receive instant notification from me the very second I release my next YouTube video. Also, feel free to check out my show notes, where you can view more of my creativity located on my various social media links, including my PhotoArt by Athol website.